Hi, everyone. Welcome to Live with Janome. I'm Ann Hine, Embroidery Software Specialist for Janome America. And today we're going to be talking about fun with AcuSketch and the Embroidery Link apps. Let me go ahead and put my camera on and we'll talk a little bit and then we can go from there. So let me get this cleared off over here. There we are. There we are. All right. So welcome everybody. As you can tell, I'm not in my normal studio. I am out and about at this time. I'm spending some time away. So today I wanted to talk about two of our apps. One is AcuSketch and one is Embroidery Link for the CM17. Now AcuSketch can be used by anyone because I'll show you in there how you can send your design. You don't have to send it directly to your machine, okay? There's other ways to work around that. So I'm going to show you that. And I am going to start first with Embroidery Link because I want to show you how to create a folder in there because we're going to use a folder to put our drawings in. That way we can keep track of them. And so I'm going to show you that first. So that's where we're going to go first. So let me get my iPad up here and I will get that going. So we will start over on the iPad. So I'm going to go over there. Let's see if there we go. Oh, I love when technology works for me. So in the app, or in the iPad, and you can use AcuSketch and Embroidery Link on either an iPad or an Android tablet, okay? Same with Embroidery Link. And I think Embroidery Link you can put on a phone as well. AcuSketch maybe not. Some of them are available for phone and some are and iPad, Android, or some are just for the iPad and Android tablet. So I'm going to open Embroidery Link because I want to go there first. When you open this app up, you want to select Designs. And here are the designs that I have within Embroidery Link. And I can access other designs within my iPad as well, but these are ones that I've made right in here. And you can see on the left-hand side are my folders, and they show up at the top of the page here. And then below that are a bunch of designs that are just loose within the program so that you can, I haven't put those in a folder, but I can. So I made a folder up here called Christmas Sketch. And it's the, you'll see it right here on the left-hand side. And how did I do that? So while I'm here, I would touch these three dots at the top and it says new folder. And so I'm going to select new folder. And it pops up my keyboard and it also gives me where the folder is going to be. And so I'm just going to name it A test. Like that, and then hit done. And now it will be the first one in my list. Now, if I wanted to move something that's right here in my on my screen into that folder, maybe I was going to make a bunch of designs and they were loose here, and I decided to move them. I would touch the question, or not the question mark, the check mark up here, and then I can just select whatever ones I would like to move to that folder. And oh, maybe I don't want that one, but I want these two and maybe these two here. So now I have 4 that I'm going to move. Then I will go back to those 3 dots and it says move, and it will bring up my list of folders, and I can put that in any of those folders, but I'm going to put them in A test like that. And at the bottom, select move. And it says, am I sure? Yes, I'm sure. Now you'll see they're gone. And let me just go back to get out of and I could have hit the check mark again to take that away. So here is A test. There's the designs that I put in there. So I created in Christmas Sketch folder, and I have some designs in there already. Some have names and some don't, and we will work on naming those as we go along. So that's the part I wanted to show you first with Embroidery Link, and we will get to using Embroidery Link once we create our designs from the AcuSketch app. All right, so let's go to AcuSketch. Now in AcuSketch, when it opens up, it will either open up to the last design you had drawn in there if you didn't do anything with it, or it will open up to a brand new page. And to get a new page, we're going to go on the right-hand side where the pencil and paper are, and that takes us to the different sizes here. We can pick up if we like to be in inches or millimeters, and then if we're using a specific machine, we can pick a specific machine, or if we want to, we can actually put in our own size for the space that we want to work in. Whoops, I got to clear that. Our design space. There we go. So maybe I want to work with a 5x5 square. So it doesn't matter. I could pick a hoop. If I wanted to pick a hoop, I could do that. It gives me the hoop size there, or I can go ahead and put in my own measurement. And I'm going to work in a smaller space because it's just easier for me to draw. Now, talking about drawing, that once you get done here, you hit create, and now that is a 5-inch square. Some of you may have your grid turned on, and you can see that I've turned it on and off. It's on the right-hand side. This is I can zoom over here with the magnifier, or I can do the pinch and squeeze, the pinch and squeeze. Under the eye is a tour, if you want to watch the tour. And under settings, we have different things that you can pick on your measurements. Now, my canvas border is in red. My drawing lines are in red, but they will not stitch in red. They will stitch in black. This will only draw a single line. It doesn't do any fill stitches. And you can purchase stitches. I will show you those a little bit later. All right, let's go over. The only thing I didn't talk about is that folder on the right-hand side, and we will use that in a moment. I want to show you how to work with this. I'm just going to make this a little smaller. On the right-hand side, you have your pencil that you're going to draw with. You have an eraser, and there's actually two sizes of eraser. There's a large and a small. There's the connector on the next one. So if you want your lines when you get close to them to connect, then you would select that and they will auto connect. Sometimes that makes a nice smooth connection. Sometimes when you have that, it will connect a line to another line that you don't want it to. So sometimes I turn that off, sometimes I turn it on. Under the photograph, when you select here, this will allow you either to take a picture, so you can open up your camera and take a picture, or you can go into your photos and have access down here into your photos if you wanted to look at your photos and use one of those. I'm not going to use it. It's just a background. It doesn't convert anything. It just gives you something to draw from. And I'm not going to use that today. I'm just drawing with my finger right on there today. You can bring in something to, let me see if I have anything. There we go. Let's see if I have, okay, so if I had this tree and I wanted to use that for drawing, see, I can increase the size of that. I'm pinching and squeezing that, or I can use on the side, I can use the controls, the plus and the minus over here. I can rotate it also. All right, there we go. Make it. So if I wanted to use something like this, I could. I would hit done, and then when I got back here, I would have my pencil, and I could draw this tree using my finger like this. Maybe I'm going to do that. I don't know. That might be what I want to do. Or if I don't like that, I can undo it. And maybe I'm just going to draw sections of this tree like this. So you can see how sometimes having an outline can help you. If I turn off the photo, you'll see what my beautiful artwork looks like. So I'm going to undo all of that. But today what we're doing is, I'm going to go back and get a new page because I want to make sure it's 5x5. There we go. And today we're making just a drawing with our finger. We're going to draw a line tree. And I've seen these sort of squiggle trees before, and I've always been intrigued by them. Now you can use your eye pencil, or if you have a tablet that has a drawing pencil, you can definitely use that too. I don't have my iPencil with me today. When I travel, I take it off my iPad because sometimes I don't want to lose it. So I left it at home, but I can still use my finger and draw. So I can make my box really big if I want, or I can bring it down. Even it's still going to be 5 inches no matter how I do it. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to draw the best squiggle line tree that I can. There we go. And if I like it, I can go over to click stitch and move on from there. If there's anything I don't like, and I'm just going to zoom in here, there's a little spot right at the top there. I don't like that little extra piece that went on there. So I am going to touch my eraser, and I don't want the wide one. I want the skinny one. And I'm just going to run my finger right over there like this to remove that part. There we go. So that's gone. I can go back to my pencil. I can shrink this back down. And now I can go to stitch. Now when I come over here to stitch, I can turn on, I see my line drawing, and then I'm going, the red part is my line drawing. The black part is going to be the stitch. So you can see it has, to compare to my line drawing, it has some little, maybe not, doesn't fit all the way too. And this is where you can use your stitch length to make it fit a little bit better to your line drawing to the red drawing. And I usually get it the best that I can, and I go from there. If you wanted to use the pack, the line stitch pack, you can purchase it for $3.99. I'm just going to restore mine and show you how they work. When you come in here, you can pick one of the stitches, and of course you can manipulate it at the bottom. You can make your length longer, your width less, something like that if you wanted to work with that. And let me show you what that looks like. So it would look like this if I wanted to do that. And same thing, if I had the zigzag, I could play with zigzag. I could do triple stitch as well. I'm just going to use a single stitch at this time. Now, one thing to remember, this is just one line that I drew. When you pick your finger up and put it back down and draw something else, or your pencil up and draw something else, that's a completely separate line. So you can do very intricate work with drawing. And one of the things I like to do when I'm going to be doing more intricate work, I like to draw some of it, and then I will save it to a folder, and I'll show you that. Let me go back to the drawing side of this. Remember, I mentioned this folder on the right-hand side. So let's select that. It's here that I can save my pieces, and you can see some of them have locks on them and some don't. So the reason for that is some of these will, if they're locked, I can edit them again without losing the original, okay? The ones that don't have locks are the ones that I will have to edit, but I won't have an original saved. So the good part about having the lock is if you draw something that's great and you want to add to it or use it again, you've saved it here with the lock on it. So in order to do that, the top one here on the left, that's the one that I just drew, and maybe I want to save it. So I'm going to hit select. I'm going to touch it. And at the bottom, I see the lock. I'm going to hit the lock. And now it has saved that one. And I'm just going to hit cancel and go back out. Now, if I decide I don't like this one, I want to go to a new page. I'm going to open a new page. Maybe I want to open one of those ones I've saved. Now, the one at the very top is the one I just did. This is one I did yesterday. So when I select it, it says duplicate and edit or do not edit. So duplicate and edit leaves me a copy here and gives me one that I can edit. So I'm going to say duplicate and edit. If I selected this one, it comes right in there. And if I make any changes to this, let's say I erase something, I will not have an original and I will have to resave it. So I could go to stitch, and I could go to send. And at this point, I could send it to my machine. When I touch here, if I'm connected, I would have to do select sewing machine. It would give me the hoop I'm using, and then it would highlight send. I'm not connected to my machine, so it's not going to work. But what I want to do is I want to go back to here, and I'm going to get a new page. And then I'm going to open the design, this one here, and I'm duplicate and edit, and there it is. So that's the one I did the other day. It has a little piece at the top. I'm going to edit this out. I don't like that little piece at the top, so I'm just going to put the eraser, and then I just rubbed my finger across there, go back to the pencil, and I'm good to go in there. So I like this one. I'm going to go forward with it. If I wanted to, I could resave this again, since I fixed the top of it. Go back in here, and I could select, it's this one here, I could select it. Now I have two of those. My original is one of these ones at the bottom, and we're good to go. So I'm going to go back here. Now I'm going to show you a different way to send this design. Once you go to stitch and you're happy with your stitch length, let's see what's going on here. Maybe I can make it a little small. There we go. I'm happy with all of this. I can come over here and I either do send, which I can't send today, or I can hit the little paper with the arrow, and this opens up some other options for me. I can make a copy of this and I could email it to myself. So if you don't have AcuEdit or Embroidery Link, you can do that. You can save it to Dropbox and pick it up there. You can save it to your files and pick it up in your files if that's how you work with your iPad, some people, or your tablet. I haven't done this on a tablet, but I assume it's the same look on there. So we're going to go to Embroidery Link. And when I go there, at first it pops up, it may pop up the main screen since we left this off with the folders. We're looking there. My design folder opened up, and I can pick which one I want to put this in. So I'm going to pick AcuSketch, and then I'm going to select import. And it's asking me if I want to import this. It just has a number right now, and I'm going to say yes. And there it is. I put it in that folder. I could have picked any other folder and it would have gone in there. So that's my newest one there that's highlighted. And what I want to do is I want to work with it now in Embroidery Link, because you can see off to the right, I have another one that says Anne's Tree, and it has some other things in there, and I'm going to show you those things. So now I can select it and I can do edit. Now, if I was connected to my machine, I could send it directly to my machine. I'm going to do edit design, and it's going to be right here on my workspace. Now, when I'm in Embroidery Link, I can change the color of things. So maybe I want this tree to be green. So let me see where my greens are. There we go. So I've got a green tree. I can go ahead and change my hoop by going to the icon right here where the hoop is. Maybe I want to work, this is the small hoop. Maybe I want to work with a different hoop. I can pick a different hoop to work with, something like that. Maybe I want to work with the larger hoop. I can rotate that hoop if I need to. Maybe I wanted to do something where, and after I make a selection and do something on the screen, I go back to the finger, and that puts me in the back to the main. So if I wanted to put this in there, maybe I want to do some writing next to it, I can do that as well. But I want to put some decorations on my tree. Now, I didn't have anything in my designs over here when I was over here. So once I'm going to go back, it's going to save this one. I don't want to save it in test. I'm going to put it in Christmas sketch, and I'm actually just going to just call it, tree one for right now, and then save it. So I could go back through here and find other things to play with to add to my piece. But in order to add them, let's put this back in here. In order to add them, I don't need to go back there. I need to do import, which is over here by your question mark. So that's the tool you would use to bring in another item right into the screen where you're working. And I could use a loose item like down in here. So maybe this little dot is what I want, and I'm going to select OK. And there's a little dot. And if I didn't want that, while it's selected, I can hit the trash. So you want to use your import over here to bring in anything that you want to add to it. All right, maybe I had another embroidery I wanted to bring in. You would use import. You don't want to go back. You want to use import. What I found out is once I got here, I wanted to put some little designs on my tree. And what I did is I went into my fonts, and when I selected a font and I did enter text, I found that I could use some of the other things in here as decorations. So my little asterisks here, I could use that as a little design on my tree. So I selected them, I only need one. I could do a row of them, but I'm just going to use one, and I'm going to bring it up here, and I could put it at the top of my tree. Now, I'm going to go back to my finger. Now I can just select this either by touching up there, and then I could do a copy paste. And now I have a second one, and I can select that one and then move it someplace else, like there. I can do paste another one and move this one over there. Paste another one and move it down here. Paste another one and move it over here. Let's do one more, and we'll move it over here. Oops. Now, if you do that, all you have to do is up here on the left, undo. Let's undo that. Let's make this bigger so I can put my finger on it. There we go. And I'm just using my finger. So now my tree has some little ornaments on it. If that's what I like, I can keep them on there. I might want to add something else to them. Now these are all going to be blue. So I'm going to go back to my font, and I'm going to open up the text. The other thing I found I liked, let me see if I can go there, is there's a little wavy, this little guy over here. I liked that. And I'm also going to change the color of that to red. Oh, maybe back this way. It's a nice red. Oh, not the tree. Let me undo that. Hang on, let's go back. Let's select that and go to color, and we will make it, I'm going to make it red if I could get to my reds. Oh, not the, well, undo that. That's not what I want. Let's get back in here. All right, with that selected, I got to touch the little blue square. I keep forgetting that. Touch the little blue square, and then I can change that to a red. There we go. Now it's red. Not the palette. I want to check. So this makes a nice little piece, and I could do a lasso around there, and then I could just move this around. And if I want to, if I tap on it, I can make it have a little, rotate it a bit. And of course, I can copy, paste it, and move it down. Let's undo that part. There we go. Make it a little bigger so I can grab it. Maybe I want it over here, like this. Paste again, bring one down here like that. And then let's see what we look like. So I could play with my ribbons, and I could rotate them more if I wanted, so they were kind of going over my tree. Let's do this one. Maybe we could bring this one up closer. So you could really be very, well, if we made it look like a ribbon coming down, you could bring them closer together. Let me undo that. And then rotate them so that it looks like you have a ribbon on your tree. And work with your design that way. Once you have your design where you want it, and so maybe this one would rotate this way and go up my tree. Let's get just that. There we go. All right, so you see how you can play with other things that are in the software without, and maybe they look like little snakes on there right now, I don't know, but you'd have to be a little bit creative with them. So let me go back to my other one, and I'm going to hit save, and it's saved it right there. So let's open this one here. So I have this one. That's my original. I'm going to put it in here as edit. And if I wanted to add any lettering to this at this time, I could hit my lettering tab. I could change my font to something like this, or maybe even this one. And then I could type in here, Mary, and then let's say done. I could put that one up here like that. And then open this up again, delete that, and do, oh, let's do it, yeah. There we go, Merry Christmas. Oh, that's what I forgot to do, is give it a second spot. Let's put Mary back in. There we go. All right. So these are individual words that I'm putting in here. Let's move you down. And my finger is cold. That's one reason I'm having a little bit of trouble. Let's do this. Let's do it this way. There we go. Now, if you end up, see, sometimes I get two things at once. If you just tap on your clothesline at the top, you can, there we go. So we can have a little thing. And now I could make this into a Christmas card. If I wanted to do it on cardstock, I could definitely do that as well. Now these letters here, I think I would make them a different color so that they don't get, everybody can stitch a little differently. So let me see if I can find a pretty, maybe a gold color here. There we go. There we go. So you can go ahead and work with this. If you wanted to work with your lettering and you wanted to curve anything, touch your lettering, touch the letter down at the bottom, touch this little bar that looks like an eye, and it gives you some options. So if I wanted to curve this, I could, and I could bring that out like that. I could change the size of my font if I wanted to. Let's make Mary. There we go. Like that. Okay. So that gives you a little something to work with. Now that it's done, of course, I can go back and save it, or I can send it to my machine. Let's go back to you always want to go back to the finger over here because that ends anything that you're doing. If you want to put something in a different order, maybe you want the Merry Christmas to stitch first, you can drag it off of there and you can put it, well, let's do it this way. You can drag it off of there and move it around to any order that you'd like them to stitch. And if you want these to stitch, I think I do have them stitching in from top to bottom, you can do that as well. You can see which order they're stitching. And I really like that because I can play around with that part of it. And then to save that again, I think I'm going to call it Anne's Tree 2 and done, and save it. And now you'll see that it's in my folder with all my other things. Very easy to work with both of those. So let's go back to the camera And here we go. All right, so I hope everybody that gets you started a little bit with AcuSketch, and if you're using Embroidery Link, you could do that as well. Now, the cool thing is, if you have Artistic Digitizer software, you can create an AcuSketch. You can bring that in to your Artistic Digitizer software. It will be a JEF file. So to actually work with the actual stitch, you would need to select Convert to Curves. Now, when you convert to curves, it does make some changes. So you'll have to go, I don't always convert the whole design. If there's something particular that I want to edit, I will select that because it reverts it down to a specific standard fill or line so that you can make your own changes to it. So that's what that's about. Sometimes when you convert the whole thing, you're like, oh, what does that look like? And so just pick the parts that you need if you wanted to do it that way. Or if you wanted to add something from Artistic Digitizer, you could bring your design in there and of course do adding into there, or you can open it in other programs as well. All right, so that'll get you started on a little fun thing, maybe for the holidays, or maybe you'll be doing some other things with AcuSketch. Make sure you post your pictures. You can post them over on the classroom page of things that you're doing, or if you want to come over and join us on the Janome Artistic Digitizer page, you can post your AcuSketch things there as well, or on the Continental Club page. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Have a great day, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.